With the arrival of the weekly reset, this brought a more continuing storyline that has been going on week over week. But what the weekly reset brought this week that's so different than previous weeks is that for many people, their pride and joy finally returns to them. I, of course, am talking about the Wendigo GL3 that is the weekly featured weapon in the Nightfall this week. And from what I've heard and seen so far this week is that everyone has been in that Nightfall farming and trying to get their perfect 5-for-5 god roll that they want. What's so funny about that though is that the chance of even getting 3 of the 5 perks that you want is less than 26% chance of happening, which has been shown here by 3-time back-to-back world's first raider cruise. But fret not, ladies and gentlemen, because I have done the service of diving headfirst into those odds, and after running a lot of Master Nightfalls since Tuesday's weekly reset, I finally come before you with 2 rolls that I feel like most endgame players and most Destiny players would love to have. One of these rolls you will totally and completely agree with when I tell you about it. The other roll you will be surprised with at first, but all I ask is that you hear me out and just consider the possibility of the roll just a little bit. The Wendigo GL3 is a heavy grenade launcher that's located in the adaptive frame category, and the usual magazine size it has is 6. That, of course, can be changed depending on the perks that you end up getting on it. I believe there are currently about 6 different viable perk options that fall between the 3rd and 4th column slot that make this grenade launcher extremely viable. I will say this, of course, though. The only perk that you want to make sure you always have / get on this weapon is spike nades. Spike nades is an absolute must on this weapon, and I felt I had to clarify that. But I'm here to tell you about the 2 rolls that I was able to get from the Master Nightfall this week. So let's dive right in. The first roll that I was able to get this week, I believe many people are currently trying to go for as well. The exact roll is Confined Launch, spike nades, clown cartridge, and explosive light. For those of you that need a small little refresher on both clown cartridge and explosive light, allow me to explain. Clown cartridge states that reloading this weapon randomly overfills it from reserves, which means that more times than not, you will end up getting more than 6 grenades in your launcher with this perk at a given time. Explosive light says picking up an orb of power increases the next projectile's blast radius and damage. And the damage buff that explosive light gives is a 44% damage bonus. Just wanted to add that information right on top so you would know. The second roll that I was able to get this week, I think has gone under a lot of people's radar again. Just like the rocket launcher, the Roar of the Bear did the previous week. The other roll that I got was Confined Launch, Spike Nades, Auto-Loading Holster, and Cascade Point. Again, if you're unfamiliar with those 2 perks, I shall give you a brief description of those as well. Auto-loading holster says that the holstered weapon is automatically reloaded after a short period of time. The perk in the 4th column was a perk that was introduced during the brand new season we are currently in right now. That perk is called Cascade Point. Cascade Point says that final blows or sustained precision hits with another weapon increase this weapon's rate of fire for a short duration. What I like to do is think about the perk like the perks that we already have in the game. Harmony and Desperado came together, made a kid, and that's exactly what Cascade Point is. Sadly, the perk doesn't give a damage buff, but where it lacks in a damage buff, it sure makes up for in that rate of fire. I think that Cascade Point is probably one of the best perk options in the game right now for the Wendigo GL3 when it comes to absolutely destroying and running over high end game content such as a Master Nightfall. We haven't had an opportunity to test this on Grandmasters, so we'll see what that's like next week, but we just have a Master Nightfall to run over right now. You quite literally don't have to even try, because all you have to do is shoot an unstop enemy with some precision hits, get your Cascade Point ready to proc, swap over to your Wendigo GL3, and just rain fire on the unstopped champion right in front of you. It's like Thanos getting hit with Thor's hammer the first time Captain America threw it at him. And before you go start typing in the comments saying, spoilers this, spoilers that, the movie came out 4 years ago, people. It's time to get with the times. Moving on. Now, I would never lie to you because I know that your time is valuable and you just want to know the important stuff and then keep on gaming or going back to whatever you were doing. So I'll just keep it straight with you. I personally think that while yes, the grenade launcher is very viable right now, I don't think it's a main damage weapon. Main damage weapons are weapons such as linear fusion rifles like the Taipan, the Cataclysmic, and Storm Chaser. If anything, I would say this weapon is a swap weapon, meaning that it's intended to swap with a high damage weapon such as Izanagi's Burden. But I will say that Explosive Light definitely feels amazing on this weapon, and you can see the difference from when you have the perk procced and when you don't have the perk procced. However, as I stated before, and I highly encourage you when I say this, please give Cascade Point a try on the Wendigo GL3. You will never have a funnier time in Destiny 2 right now than using this perk in endgame content. All I ask is that you give it the old college try. If you guys have any more questions about the build at all, ask away in the comment section and I'd be glad to answer any questions you have for me. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want any more Destiny 2 content, make sure to watch the YouTube shorts that I upload pretty regularly about the game. Besides that, I hope you gamers have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.